Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. Welcome in to, I don't know, episode 172, I think. I don't know, something like that. We're in the 170s somewhere. But hopefully you guys are having a great day. And you know what? There's some really happy Maverick people out there. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Some of you have gotten some happy emails sent to you, or at least updates to your orders. So we'll talk more about that here in just a little bit, and possibly as part of the Is It True? I kind of highlighted this yesterday. If you guys watch my Maverick Monday, probably won't be too much of a story for you there. But so we got some Mavericks that are on their way slowly, because it is a 4-week trip from Mexico. Don't forget. Anyway, let's see what else we got going on. All kinds of other stuff. We got some stuff behind us, some gifts from one of our members, and kind of another package gift to myself, I guess. Did you? So your mom, she posted something and she showed me a little reel, or probably it was a TikTok, but published somewhere else. But that said something about yes, I'm getting a Christmas gift for the chef, for the nanny.
Yeah.
So basically gifts for themselves. Anyway, but all right. But yeah, so good stuff here. We're gonna talk, really, to be honest, I didn't have a topic for this week. I was like, what are we gonna talk about this week? It's usually the subject of like on Monday is, what are we gonna talk about this week? Because I don't always have a topic figured out. Sometimes on my walk on Saturdays with the members, I think come up with something, but typically it's a Monday thing, and I'm like, you know what, the GTD, we're going to talk about that. I'm sure this was recorded a while back, but media and everything got their information out, but they went a standard for the Nurburgring. Right? Nurburgring. Anyway, the ring, what we're going to call it. But they got sub 7 minutes. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and why they can do it with a production, and it's with the production vehicle. But we'll talk more about that later, just as a fun thing to talk about at the end of the night, before we're ending the show and everything. And and then of course we'll talk about scheduling and order guide updates. There were some changes I went through. Actually took me longer than I thought. See, Saturday night, it was like 9 o'clock. There's nobody home. I was by myself. I think 3 hours I spent with the order guides that got updated first of the month to see what's different and what's changed in them. And I found some things and found out some stuff. And so we'll talk about that as well. So, all right. I think that's all I have.
All right.
So what you got? What'd you do this weekend?
I was at the Canton Market vendor sale.
That's right. Saturday.
And then Saturday night, we went over to Grandma and Grandpa's and had dinner and hung out with them. My oldest was like, I need to see Grammy Great. And he just would not stop. I'm like, why do you want to go so much? He goes, because I need to see her. Okay. So we got dinner and we hung out. And then Sunday, we put up our Christmas tree.
We've not done that. Christmas lights went up, but not the Christmas tree.
Yeah. No, that was Friday night. Friday night we put up our Christmas tree. Sunday, I think we just lazed around the house.
We watch these Hallmark movies, and they all wait till like right before Christmas to put their stuff
I know,
up.
it's like the last week before Christmas. I'm like, what?
It's like they take the week off, and they like all these Christmas. Oh, we're gonna do Christmas lighting like on Christmas Eve on these Hallmark shows. I'm like, do we really wait until these towns really wait till Christmas Eve to put up lights? I don't think so, but anyway. So
yeah,
last year I think we got our tree up finally.
Like I get having
before.
The decorations up and everything, and then waiting to like plug in the lights on the big tree for Christmas Eve. Like I get that, but you have all your other lights plugged in throughout the rest of this December. But everyone likes to have the decorations up throughout December, so that way you can have fun.
I see though, if you have little ones that want to grab on the stuff, I could see waiting until Christmas Eve just for that reason.
We are
We
very,
never thought of that.
we are very
But-
purposeful about our ornament arrangements. Anything breakable goes up high. Everything else is down
Mm.
low.
Yeah.
We also, our local park has a light walk.
Yes.
Our accessible park. I don't know who puts it up, but one of the foundations in town has a light walk, and they add more to it every year. And it's gotten really cool to go down and see. And they have a giant light bulb that you stand within and get your picture taken care of, or get your picture taken. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, we Saturday, your mom watched your kiddos while you were at that. And so she watched those two, and then she went and watched the Jolie's kids. So she 16 hours she watched kids 2 and 2. But she didn't get back till late, and so I was kind of absent Saturday night then I did the cantata.
Yes.
So I do the video for our church for our cantata, our seasonal cantata, which is always fun. And so you can find that on our church's website or YouTube channel. But anyway, so I did that. So I spent quite a bit of time doing that. getting ready for that.
Cantata was the week before Christmas.
No, they usually do it prior to that. So, yep.
Okay.
So anyway, but yeah, that takes a lot of practice. So I usually Wednesday evening, Saturday morning, and then a little bit Sunday morning before to get ready for the 2 services to do the video and such, the shots that I pick for the different parts of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun. But do have a new Tumblr. But that brings me to this. Throw this up here.
I haven't seen Niles.
So what's in Tim's cup tonight? We got a Midland cup here, thanks to Ronald. He sent that, so thank you. I didn't think I was going to stay up. He also sent some stuff. So he sent a gift. So he knew that I was looking to get this Midland radio. So this is the one that I was looking to get. This is the GMRS radio that I want, and I wanted the mic to have all the stuff so that I can hide this up under the dash and then just have this mic come out, and it has an antenna for being able to get further out. So yeah, so he got me that. So thanks, Ronald. And he's got a connection at Midland, I think a neighbor or a friend or something. And so also sent the Tumblr for me. But so there you go. So there's that. And so knowing that was coming in, I purchased for myself some things for it. So I have a bullet point on dash mount on my Bronco right now. That's got a phone holder on there, but then I got this one here that the mic can go into. Oops, around camera. And so that'll go up there on the dash as well. So I got that from Bullet Point, and I got from Mountains to Metal. The antenna isn't that need to go out. So I got the mount for the antenna
Siblings
where the ditch lights are. You weren't going to get me this stuff.
If you told us what you want and didn't buy it for yourself.
It doesn't work that way. All right. And then this mount goes underneath the dash. And someone else said that they tried using it and it didn't work. So we're going to try it out. So I watched their video, and this is a mount for Mountains to Metal to mount this under the dash. So we'll I got to take it out of the package.
No, I was going to give you cash towards your radio, but then you told me you were getting that, and you told me you were getting other stuff. So I was like, okay, fine. I know what I'll get you. You'll be getting that, next week? Is next week our last live stream before Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, you're getting that next week on the live stream.
I just got it just now. All right. So also,
you're getting my gift to you.
They sent some pretty cool sticker. Ronald says, "I got some stickers sent to you." I looked a little closer. That's a Jeep. Just saying, that's a Jeep.
Let me see.
That's a Jeep.
Oh,
and
the Rubicon.
There is a QR code on the back for 15% off. Go ahead and scan that. But I probably won't use it because it says use code Jeep15. Probably not going to do that.
You need to get some Bronco. Is that from Midland?
Yeah.
Okay, Midland, you gotta You gotta switch it up.
You
Let's
got to get some Bronco stuff
Bronco
in there. Come on now.
because it's not just Jeep anymore.
Yep. Anyway, so that's kind of funny. But here's that. We also got some stamps in. Is that you?
Yes, I
Okay.
dropped.
Anyway, all right. So there's that going on there. And yeah, next week will be our last live stream before the end of the year. So we're going to do like all the network TV shows do when they go do all their holiday stuff this week. And so, so next week will be our last live stream for the year. And we'll do a kind of a Christmas theme as well as year in review and all that good stuff. And we'll talk about that next week on the 17th. And then why would we live stream on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, right?
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense to be here at 7 p.m. on those nights when we can be with our family. So we're going to do.
Are we closed the 24th?
No, we're not.
We're open. Okay.
We're open 24th and 31st. So there we go. So there's that. So you guys can guess what's in Tim's cup.
They've made a few guesses. Mountain Dew Code Red, Celsius something.
That's Sarah. You drink those, don't you?
No.
No. Anyway.
No, I used to, but I don't like the flavors very much. Let's see. Mountain Dew. I actually think I can guess it from what I can see.
Anyway, yeah. So, and don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast. If you want to listen to that version, you can go to, of course, find Ford Video Guy on any of your streaming platforms. Should be able to find it. Also on our website, FordVideoGuyMedia.com. There's a link. The stream is actually embedded there. If you want to listen to the streams there, you can do it. A lot of other places there too as well. So, and if you're listening to the stream, we'll have some images for the GTD, but we probably won't have a lot other than that for this. So, yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, but of course, if you want to ask questions, so it's live, listen to the podcast. We do take the questions that we read off of there are from people that are on live with us. We have over 54 people in here right now. Looks like 58. So that might have questions for us. So you can definitely ask your questions live. I've had some people on the scheduling notes video that I do. I take that part of this live stream out into its own video, and somebody's comment on there that I didn't answer their question. And YouTube doesn't always let me know of every comment that is posted in there. So sometimes I'll try to check it for a couple days, but then after that, unless I get an email with that, I don't go back. And he was really upset that I didn't answer his question for several weeks. And I'm like, you can't come over to our live stream and I can answer it live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're really good about not skipping over.
Live.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The chat gets going. We have a lot of fun in the chat.
So.
While Tim's going over Super Duty constraints and scheduling.
All right.
We're over here in the chat just talking about quesadillas.
All right. Anyway, so yeah. Now you can go if you want to get merch. And just kind of going through the things and remind people is McArthur.myspreadshop.com for our merch. There are no promo codes going. Nope. It said because they're so busy, there's no promo codes in the month of December. So
I get that.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
I found a Bronco coat. I have a Bronco coat coming from Ford merch.
Is it the freewheeling one?
No.
The strap one?
No. I like those.
The strap vest.
I like
they have
the strap vest, but it says it's for men, so I don't know how it would fit me.
And it's got a hood on it. I think it's weird to have a vest with a hood.
I actually like that because I like to wear a vest instead of a coat because then I don't feel restrained when I'm moving around. So I do prefer a vest over a coat, just for that fact. So a hood would be nice with my vest. But I got the pink puffer jacket, puffer coat.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see if I like that. And the beanie.
Yeah.
But if you like Ford Video Guy merch, we got plenty.
Yeah. All right. You might be getting you get your last gifts in. I mean, it is the 10th, so you got to allow for time to for your gifts to show up, especially if you're getting something from Ford. It could take a couple weeks, maybe too late at this point. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Mine shipped out next day.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it depends what it is. If it's parts, you might not see it in time.
All right. Let's see what else is going on. Don't forget about membership. If you want to become a member, and whether it be to support or just be just part of the membership,
Yeah.
what can they do? How do they do that?
If you'd like to become a member, it's right there. It's that join button right beside the subscribe button. And if you're an Apple user, you have to do things a little bit differently. You have to go to your web browser, go up to little a and big A, and request desktop browser. At that point, you should be able to see it.
Yep. And we talk about that every week because there are people that have contacted us a lot and said, "Hey, I want to be a member, but I can't see it on my tablet or my Apple phone and everything." So we throw that in to help people out if they want to become a member. And then all the content you're going to see under the membership. Also, if you have your notifications turned on, any of the member videos and posts we do, you'll get notification either by email or in your app on your phone if you have those. So there you go. So that's the best thing. Just hit that notification bell. And if you don't want to become a member, not a big deal, because we love each and every one of you, even if you aren't a member. But I do ask you to smash the like button and make sure you're subscribed. So. All right. What else? Is that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
What is in your cup?
What are the guesses? It's coffee.
Coffee. I didn't even get that right.
Coffee with creamer.
I thought it was like one of those Monster coffee drinks.
Coffee drinks. I do have some creamer. Caramel mach-e creamer, though.
Because when do you drink coffee?
When I'm cold. It's a little chilly
I
over
am
there.
cold.
I felt a little cold. So
I had to break out the blanket tonight.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Don't forget about some of the other channels that we like to watch. And Dave was on All Train. Dave and Kelly and Allie and all kinds of people were on last night on All Train Nation. Check them out. I have their links always in the comments or in the description of these show notes, whether it be in the podcast or not. Link to their YouTube channel as well as Johnny's Car Care Reviews. I need to go on over there. I haven't watched his videos in a while. I need to make sure that I always get notifications when I'm my Ford Video Guy account, but when I'm not logged into that, I don't get those. Ragnar as well. He's in the chat. He's got a YouTube channel. Watch his Bronco Break. Those are always good. And some other channels in there. Driven Wild Outdoors. We have some other channels that we like to highlight. So if you're looking for some other channels, you're bored, all the shows are on hiatus for Christmas, you're looking for something to watch, you don't want to watch Hallmark movies, then go to down in the description and check out some of those other channels and watch them, and maybe you'll find a new channel that you'll want to watch. So anyway, all right, I think that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Member shout out?
Member shout outs, though, because if you are a member, you deserve to be shouted out.
All right. We're going to start with Ford Enthusiast, who's been a member for 20 months and enabled his super chat. Good evening, all. Looking forward to tonight's live stream, Tim and Sarah. We have Ronald Smith. Good evening, everyone. Patricia Ward is here. I do not have a specific Ridgeview comment, but if you see Ridgeview in our chat, he is our moderator for our channel. He keeps everything running smoothly in our chat for us. And then we also have Mr. Where is he? Niles Gridley is stopping in on his phone tonight. Hope everything is going well. We're just saying we miss you. And
Yeah.
where are you? And then you hop in. About 5 minutes later.
He works pretty early in the morning. He's got
yeah. But our friends were getting worried.
He's helped getting packages to the other people in Salina.
Yeah. Haven't seen Niles in the chat for a couple weeks. Is he doing okay from Vols 44?
He can answer that himself.
Yes. We have Steve Young. Evening. We have Mike M. Hello, all. Good evening. Cold, rainy here and just a little down. My only brother, fraternal twin, died suddenly Friday.
Oh, no.
Well, our condolences are with you. Thoughts
Yeah.
and prayers. Yeah. All right, we have Rob Hallmark. Good evening, all. Clarence Roller says, Roller here.
Rolling in.
Brian Foster, good evening. Ridgeview and all. It's a clear, dry, and cool evening in Orange County, California.
Cool for them is probably 80.
Due to the Santana winds we had last night.
Oh.
I've heard that those are not
Santana.
something that you mess with. Santana winds. I mean, that's what's in all the 911 shows is the Santana winds and how crazy and awful they are. Seems everything happens during that time. We have Steve Young, evening. Terry McGee, good evening to all. Rob Mark had guessed Mountain Dew. Terry McGee is here. We also have Mid-Coast Maine, 22 more days until 2025. But who's counting? Ford Enthusiast is here, along with Mike 52G in Northeast Pennsylvania. And he got his built today, 12/10.
All right. You know what? That's probably a good thing for you because yours will probably get shipped out right away. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm trying to figure out where am I going to put that in. Oh, wait. During the Is It True? We'll talk more about Maverick.
We have Jack Evans from Central Florida. Chris Brine. Hope everyone is warm. Douglas Blair, late dinner tonight. Great to see Tim and Sarah. Select the join button. This place is a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnercon, ahoy landlubbers. Where are you at? Are you on a boat? We have Vols 44 coffee. Gets cold in Kansas.
It's not too bad actually right now. It's been cold. It was pretty cold overnight. But...
We have Spexinator here.
Oh, awesome.
Welcome back. How are you doing? Let's see. Yeah, he says he picked up a side gig at FedEx early in the morning.
Yes. All right.
All right. I think that was everyone.
All right. Well, while you find your good dealer.
Yes.
We're going to open up these. This in here is, we're going to go, and we need to start doing a slide for our mail here.
Man, we're getting so many slides.
This in here is from Anita, I think. Can't tell on that writing in there. From Texas, Bells, Texas. And she's got all kinds of... By the way, when you send these, Sarah figured out that you send those and you put a couple stamps on it, right? And you put 2 stamps on it, but then also you put non-machinable.
Yes.
And then
you can either get non-machinable specific stamps. You can send it like one of the other guys over here through USPS label that you pay $4 for, or you just do 2 stamps with non-machinable.
Yep.
And it works. And I confirmed that with our post office today.
Yep. All right. So this one said, hey, Ford guy. It's Ford video guy, but that's okay. Thanks for the swap. Not sure what happened with the first one, but thanks for your patience. So she had sent it, and then for some reason it come back again.
Non-machinable.
Like her, she didn't have that on there, but
yes.
So there you go. But she hers, her patch here, and I'll put these on my social. If you follow me on Instagram, Ford Video Guy on Instagram, then I'll put these on there. Usually I give it a couple days, but they'll be on there. Kind of some cool extra little fun stickers that she's sent along. Looks like that's a little tent with some mountains in the background. I like that one. And then what else we got? Oh, a little lake or river or something right there. Explore, right? That's pretty cool. And then of course sticker and patch. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so we'll get those put on later. All right. The next one is from Brandy and Gunner from Florida. So Florida peeps.
Woot, woot.
And boy, that one, the reason I didn't say it was the name was a little like, yeah, I won't say that one. It's Beastie. Yeah, starts with the B. I'll let you figure it out from there. This says, thanks for the swamp. I hope you enjoy ours. Stay wild and enjoy the ride. And sometimes those little stickers are hiding in there. But Bunkin' Bronco sticker, just pretty cool. And I like this one. This one's kind of an old Ford Bronco. It has an old Bronco on there. I did take these out and already get pictures of these earlier, so that's why I know what they look like. And then, of course, they have a sticker and a patch for theirs. And they are at sassy.sass.22. I guarantee you it's probably 2022 Sasquatch Bronco. Looks like it by the wheels and everything, but there you go. There's that. Line those up. This in here just came today. This is from Nightingale Bronco in Georgia. Theirs is kind of crazy. Look at this big old sticker. So Buck Bronco and Buck, yeah. And then there's this Nightingale Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
So big sticker. And then it says, thanks for the swap. Enjoy the patch and stickers. Stacy and Nightingale. So, and they even have kind of cards with the Bronco on the front.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. And then, of course, they have their state. I like the ones with the state with the Bronco in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we did like 50 of those. If you got one of those, you got lucky. Because I don't know if we're going to do any more of those, but we might bring it back.
I have that.
Then a sticker. And then a Buck sticker. So pretty cool. So I got all those. And one last one here. This one here is from Evgeny from West Virginia, or from Washington, not West Virginia, Washington.
Yes.
But there's in a little baggie. And they have patch and a sticker, Built Wild sticker, little sloth, little leaf in a jar.
Wait a second.
Magnet.
I give out ones that look like that.
So the sticker, magnet, and the patch. And this is B Bronco.
I traded with her.
BE Bronco.
How much you want to bet that's the sticker I sent to her? Because I have ones just like that, and I've traded with her.
She didn't like your sticker. Send it to me.
Hey, you've done that too, so.
I have. Or if I have multiple, I'm like, I got a bunch of those. Go ahead and send some of those.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll get those on our social if you want to follow them, and also get patches and stuff from them if you have Broncos or Mavericks. A lot of, what I found and you found, a lot of these people that have Broncos, communities really getting into this, but there are people out there that Broncos that will trade with people with, like yours, trucks or Mavericks or whatever. So just because you have a Maverick sticker doesn't mean you have to trade with a Maverick person. Yeah. If you have Bronco, a lot of them will trade. They just want
the Bronco community is very welcoming to everyone. I'm like, hey, would you trade with me? I don't have a Bronco, but I have this Lightning. And they're like, yeah, no, I would love to. So I have found that I absolutely love the Bronco community because they are so inclusive and so welcoming to everyone, even though you are not part of the community. In fact, I was on the page that Mom's on Facebook, and someone said, I'm so sad to see you all go. I'm like, where are you going? You're leaving the page? And she talks about how she sold off her Bronco for something else. They're like, you don't have to go. You still love Bronco. Just stay here and watch us all live vicariously through us and whatnot. Like, you don't have to go just because you don't have a Bronco. You're welcome to stay.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love the Bronco community for that.
Yep. We'll talk more about that, about community events and such like that next week. So, and
Speaking
plans
of
for
which,
2025.
We have the toy drive going on here.
Yes.
If you'd like to donate to that, let one of us know. We can help you with that. It ends next Tuesday. So I think they're taking donations again to go and buy toys for that.
Yes, everybody, like, what we'll sometimes do is people are like, well, I don't have toys. Haven't had a chance to go and get toys or whatever. But what they'll do is just donate cash, and then we'll go and do the shopping for you and get toys.
Our general manager's daughter goes and does the shopping.
Yeah, they enjoy taking it and going shopping and getting gifts for kids and putting them in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
The truck's almost full.
Yeah.
But we'll load it back up. We'll do a second truck.
Yeah, they'll actually pull that one out, take all the toys out of this one, pull that one out, pull a new one in, and go, okay, second truck bed, let's go.
Yep, it's empty. We haven't gotten any. Bring your gifts now.
So next Tuesday, we'll have them putting toys in the truck bed again.
Yep.
Like last year.
All right, you got an Is It True?
Is it true?
I mean, good dealer.
I'm like, wait,
I don't know what I was looking at.
what are we doing?
We're skipping over all the stuff, scheduling, everything.
You
No,
can't spring that on me last second, man.
a good dealer.
Okay. Yes. All right. So this is Holman Ford in Maple Shade, New Jersey. NJ? Is that New Jersey? I think it is. Okay. Holman Ford and Maple Shades, New Jersey. Dean Gravinis was the sales associate. They said that sales and service have always been upfront and exceptional. Had multiple company vehicles and personal cars serviced there. Never had a complaint. Had 2 recalls done by their mobile service on my Maverick at my residence. So, Holman Ford, Maple Shade, New Jersey. Ask for Dean.
You know,
Still there.
mobile service is a good way of getting like service done. I think some of them will even do like just regular oil changes. They'll just come to your, place of business or your home and just, and just do the oil change and everything. So anyway, all right, pretty cool. I was taking all these patches and dividing them off.
Give me the stickers. I'll put them on the board while you're doing your scheduling.
That one.
All right.
It's small.
Sassy Sass.
All right. There you go.
All right.
Okay. Then we'll get into scheduling. And yeah, some of the factors are scheduling, some aren't. So we'll get into scheduling here and get that all figured out. And don't forget, we'll answer any questions you have about scheduling. Put them in, tag at Sarah Davis, or how do you want to, McArthur? What? Anyway, just put your comments in there. Sarah will see them, and we will do that. So, Pork and Beans keeps asking, have you guys sold any GTDs? I was waiting to the GTD section to answer that, but it's not really done that way. I mean, for one, they're $300,000. So they're making a very limited run. It's going to be probably like the 60th anniversary Brittany Blues, where you say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I can afford to pay for it. And then it's basically going to be like an allocation system, just like it was with the GT itself. So only a certain amount of people are going to be able to get that, especially at the beginning. It's going to be all these influencers and people like that probably. So anyway, that's kind of how that's going to work. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, all right, let's get into scheduling. All right, we're going to do scheduling this week. And yeah, we're going to go over this. And we'll start with this. Let me get my notes first. I wasn't ready for that. Get my notes. And we'll get into scheduling for this week. Again, this is scheduling for this week itself. So the week of the 9th. Wait, yeah. So this is for orders that are looking to get scheduled for the Thursday, the 12th. So we'll get into understanding all the terminology in here first. So first of all, we're talking about scheduling here. What we're talking about what is scheduling is your orders. Those orders are placed in the order bank, stock and retail orders. A retail order is a customer placed order. So Ford looks at that a little bit higher because they think that one's pretty much is a sold deal. It's going to build it. It's for a customer. Let's get it done. And that's considered a retail order. Stock orders are orders that dealer places for their stock or lot inventory. Priority codes, that is something that's given to each order. Each order has a priority given to it, a priority number, and that is actually chosen by the dealer. The dealer can dictate that number on all the retail orders anyway, anything from an 03 to 19. 19 is the default. So if you see 19 on your order, that's not uncommon because that's what Ford puts in as the default into their system. And then the dealer can then change that to 10 or whatever. I think what we typically do is when we place orders, we just put everybody's in as a 10 and switch that from 19. 20 to 80 are what stock priority codes are. So again, the lower the better. So that's why you see retail orders will always looked at before stock orders, because 0 to anything below 20 is going to get that priority. So the lower the better. It's like a golf score. Scheduling, that's what we're talking about here. This is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in future months. So we're going to talk about is what orders are scheduling on Thursday, the 12th, and then what dates they're going to be scheduling for. Each model could be a little bit different on those dates. And then production dates, like we're talking about, you're going to schedule these orders for certain dates when your vehicle is supposed to be produced. And that is tentative. It can move around and such. Sometimes those dates will move. Allocations. Now, Ford gives a dealer an allocation to schedule their orders. Basically, it's a number. So the dealer earns an allocation to schedule orders based on their sales volume. So it's based on your state. So how well they sell a certain model within a state dictates how many allocations you're going to get. Dealer can lose allocations based on how much inventory they have as well. So if you have a lot of certain inventory, then they may not give you any allocations because you have plenty of inventory that'll last you a couple months. So they will look at the last 12-month rolling average to figure out how many allocations you're going to get, but then also take away from that based on your allocations. So like Maverick, if they can't get this stinking recall taken care of, dealers could lose some allocations for Mavericks. But again, it is the whole region or the state earns those allocations and then they're given out. So they will also be dictated by, what's that dealer lots. And if no dealer can sell them, then it shouldn't affect it that much. Dealer earns those based on their sales volume. So that's how that will work. And an order cannot be scheduled without a dealer having an allocation. So it doesn't matter if there's 10 orders for a dealer. If they have 0 allocations, none of them are going to get scheduled. That's just the way the system works. Constraints, that is options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. So that causes a constraint. So capacity is where this starts is, I need to switch those words around, but capacity is the planned production rate for a certain motor, trim, or option. Like we know that on the Bronco, we actually went through that last week. We know what their capacity is for each different trim level. Base is 9%. Big Ben is 24%. Well, if the orders are more than what that capacity is for that given month, because if we know how many orders they can schedule or they can build in that month, we can dictate and find out whether or not there's more orders than what their capacity is. That's where that constraint comes in. It might take longer than 1 month to get those orders scheduled for production dates. And then job 1 and 2, they will divide that production into different jobs. And that is because if they want to introduce anything new or change something because of parts issues like they did with Explorer, they can make those changes in what they call job 1 and 2. And I heard there might be a job 3 on one model this year. So that's very rare, but we might see that this year. Also, balance out. That's the end of production or the balance out of production for a certain model or option, something like that. Like the Edge, it's completely balanced out forever. It's no longer going to be built. So that's where they see that kind of terminology there. So, of course, if you have any questions on that, don't forget to go drop those in the comments, whether it be watching the scheduling video or live with us. You can do that as well. All right. Let's get into the 25 model year Mustang. There's currently 659 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up, so you can place 2024 or 2025 model year Mustang order if you'd like with your dealer. They are not scheduling this week, though. No scheduling for the Mustang. They scheduled a bunch of their orders last week and probably have most of the month planned out, but they are not scheduling this week. Next is the 25 model year Escape. There's currently 105 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for the Escape, including your plug-in and your hybrids, but they are not going to be scheduling this week for orders. So if you have an order, then they won't get scheduled this week. Next is the 25 model year Bronco Sport. Currently only 147 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order bank is open up for orders for 25 model year. They are scheduling this week. They're scheduling for production weeks in February 2-3 through the weeks of 2-24. And they say in here they are needing some Big Ben orders with the Black Diamond off-road package. That is a really good package this year. Last year, it's kind of a duds of a package in my opinion. I've kind of voiced my opinion on that. But this year, I was very impressed with it when we got to see this at the embargoed event. And I might do a separate video on this because it is a really cool package. And people need to know that if you want to do some off-roading, you don't have to pay up and go to the Badlands. You can achieve that with the Black Diamond off-road package. And they are really needing some orders for those because they have the capacity to put those on. So they need those built. So if they need to, they'll have dealers take some of those orders. And we've actually had pretty good luck with the Black Diamond package on some of our Big Bends for 24 model year. Gives it a cool look too. Limited availability for the 17-inch matte black painted. That's the black appearance package wheel. Also very limited to exhaust availability for the Heritage version, as well as the Outer Banks Tech package and the 17-inch carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel that's standard on the Big Bend, which is another reason why you're seeing that they want people to put the Black Diamond package because they have those wheels available, right? So there you go. That's everything on the Bronco Sport. Next up is a 25 model year Bronco. Currently only 450 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for all trim levels, including base, strop. All of them can be ordered. They are not scheduling this week. So there's that. And I actually did pull up the commodity report and to look. And on the base trim, I was really surprised. There's only 18 unscheduled base orders. They did schedule the base last week. So some people, it was a late availability, it said, but they did schedule some of those orders for the base. So there's not that many in there. Their capacity is 9%, and only 4% of all the orders of those 450 happen to be the base trim level. The biggest one is probably the Heritage and the Strop. There's 129 Heritage edition orders and 120 Strop edition orders. So that one's going to be a little bit differently because their capacity is 5% and 2% on that, but not too bad there. And so yeah, they're all really, you can pretty much order anything. Should get scheduled pretty quickly on those. So no major constraints on the Bronco anymore, which is pretty cool to see. All right. Next up is a 25 model year Mach-E. There's currently only 27 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Order banks are open up for the 25 model year with the new heat pump and everything on those. They are scheduled this week for those February build dates, week of February 3rd through the week of February 24th. This is main commitment. So they're going to schedule anything. If a dealer has an allocation, they're going to try to schedule those orders. So it could be if it didn't have a retail order in there, then they'll schedule some stock orders for them. All right, next up, 25 model year Explorer. There's currently only 388 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for the Explorer if you want to. And they are doing cleanup scheduling, and they're going to be scheduling for production weeks in February as well, the weeks of February 3rd through the weeks of February 24th. Those are the production dates we're talking about. And the very limited exhaust availability for the active version, the ST line, and Platinum. That's pretty much every version. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. They had very limited exhaust availability for pretty much about every wheel as well. So the 21x9 aluminum painted wheel, that's wheel option 642. The 21-inch dark alloy polished wheel, that's the 64Z. The 20x8-inch bright painted aluminum wheel, that's option 649. So there you go. And then also the EcoBoost, the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, and the black painted roof, and the exterior appearance package as well, which is kind of new for this year. So yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work out since every trim level is constrained there, but I don't know. They're looking for just to schedule those last allocations for dealers and a limited capacity, what they can do. And so there you go. Whenever you see cleanup scheduling, you'll see a lot of like, hey, limited to exhausted for these things, because basically what they're looking for is just to kind of clean up what, in a sense of what they can build left. They want to order and schedule those orders for those. So that's where it can get a little tricky. All right, next up is a 25 model year Expedition. Currently only 729 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. You can schedule an Expedition order right now if you'd like to. They are not scheduling this week though. So there you go. They did schedule last week. They scheduled a lot of orders last week. So you might have gotten scheduled for one of those. So, all right. Next up, 25 model year Maverick. There's currently only 1,463 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for all trim levels. We're on job 2 ordering here. So they are scheduled this week for the February build dates, the week of the 3rd through the weeks of February 24th. Limited availability for the front wheel drive version. So, and then very limited to exhausted availability for the XL version, the Tremor, and the 17-inch gray painted wheel that's standard on the XLT. So again, they're just trying to fill in those last slots for what they've scheduled. They scheduled primarily most of their February production dates, but for dealers that have allocations, these are some of the things to keep in mind if you want to get yours ordered, scheduled. They pretty much have scheduled out all their XLs and Tremors and some of those others. So kind of fit around that to use your allocation. Next up, 25 model year Ranger. There's only 241 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Ranger. And then the order banks are open up right now, and they are not scheduled this week. So that's Ranger. 25 model year Super Duty. 4,764 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. The order banks are open up for the Super Duty, and they are scheduling this week for production weeks January 27th, the week of, through February 10th. They're back to needing these orders with certain specifications. So they're looking for F250 and 350 XL and XLT with the 6.7 liter V8 engine. That's the diesel engine. So they're looking for those. So everybody's wanting to order the high output. So they're looking for some orders with the regular V8 or the regular 6.7 liter. And then very limited exhaust availability for the 20-inch machine and ebony black high gloss painted wheel that is included in the black appearance package, as well as the tough bed spray and liner too. And then the mesh grill, it says as well. It says mesh grill R Performance. Don't know what that is. It's the first time I've ever seen that in there. Anyway, so here you go. There's that. And then did I have notes on that? Yeah, Super Duty. Here's capacity report here. So of the 4,700 orders, a good chunk of those are platinum. 39% of the orders in there are platinum orders, but their capacity is only 5%. So keep that in mind, although the production level is like 15,000 units. So take that for what it is. And then Lariat is 24% with the capacity is 21%. And then King Ranch is 16% of the orders and their capacity is 4%. Again, you got to remember 4% when we talk about the percentage of what their capacity is, that is based on what they can produce in a month, right? So if they can produce 15,000 units a month, then you got to figure, hey, what's 5% of 15,000? What's that number? Well, okay, and then 39% of the 4,700 orders are platinum. How many orders are there really? So if you figure that, I can't do that math here, but you guys can do the math at home, and you can figure that out, that they may be within their capacity of being able to schedule most of the orders, as long as a dealer has an allocation to be able to schedule that platinum order. That's the tough part. The big one is the 6.7 high output diesel motor, with 67% of the orders in the order bank that are unscheduled are the diesel high output. So, and the capacity is 20% on that. So, and of course, half of the orders in the order bank are F450. That's the big kicker. So 54% of those. So there you go. All right. Next up is the 24-25 model year F150. There's currently 1,608 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up. They are scheduled for the week of February 17th. And so there's that. It does say in here, they're back to needing some of those, the max toe axle. So it does say in here that if your orders are not being selected for scheduling due to material availability as a reason code, please consider adding the tow haul package and the max toe axle to increase the eligibility of your orders to be considered for scheduling. So that would be option XL5 and XL7, the 355 axle for the EcoBoost motor, the 3.5. That's that XL5, and then XL7 would be for the 5.0 liter for this 373 axle. So And then they are needing some Raptor orders without the tonneau cover. We're going to get in that in a second. Also, they are needing some STX orders, the 200B, 200A, and 201A with the 2.7 liter engine. And then limited availability for the 5.0 liter, as well as the power boost, and also the wheel or the tire that is optional on the XLT 302A, and it's included in the 303A and standard on the King Ranch. So there you go. And then something I noted in here, there are, of the 1,600 orders, 19% of them have the tonneau cover on the orders, but their capacity is only 3%. This is why I tell people, leave your tonneau covers off of your orders. Let your dealer install them for you, because their capacity is not that much. And if you want to get selected over somebody else, the great way of doing that is take off those tonneau covers. In fact, when you look at what their note in there for the Raptor is, they need Raptor orders without the tonneau covers, which means people are adding Raptor orders and they're adding the tonneau cover because they're getting it built the way they want the end result to be. But let the dealer finish that out for you by adding the tonneau cover at the dealer. It might cost a little bit more, but you'll get selected a lot faster and be able to enjoy your vehicle a lot sooner. So there you go. Or you can install it yourself and save yourself the cost of the install if you want to do that. So there you go. Let's see. Next up, lastly, is a 25 model year Transit. Currently 567 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up. They are scheduled for the weeks of January 27th through the weeks of February 17th. And then also it says they are needing some low and medium roof orders for a van. And it says medium roof passenger van has a chance to get best chances to get scheduled. So, and then it also says the medium roof passenger van as well. So they're looking for low and medium roof vans, that's your cargos, and then medium roof passengers vans as well. So, and then limited availability for the 13-seat passenger configuration. Didn't even know they made that. I knew they did a 12 and a 15, but anyway, so there you go. That's all the scheduling for this week. A lot of plants that aren't scheduling because most of their scheduling did get done last week for the month, and so that's why you'll see that. And they'll probably schedule next week, but then they won't schedule the last 2 weeks of the year. So there's that. So all right. Now, if you're watching it live with us, we'll take your questions live if you have any questions about scheduling. But if you're watching the recorded video from Wednesday, drop those comments down there, and I'll do the best that I can to answer those questions for you.
I have one question.
We're frozen.
The other camera's frozen.
This camera's frozen. Uh-oh.
Well.
Is our stream doing okay?
I'm checking it.
You guys hear me okay? Anyway. If so, I guess we can move the camera. Because this is the extra camera, so I don't know how that works.
You guys hear us? Loud and clear.
All right. Well, let's go to this. See if this works. Nope, that didn't work. All right. They can hear us. This camera's frozen, huh?
And my chats are popping up.
Let's do this. I don't know if this will work. You're in there, right?
Yeah.
How about that? Now can they hear us? You're in the stream with audio only, it says, but we're with this camera.
Just give it a couple seconds.
It says you are back. Lost your volume. All right. So that is really
Okay.
weird. Yeah, and it won't let me switch cameras.
Woo!
Okay, so now we have audio but no camera. All right. There we go.
Okay.
All right, so our audio is good and it's working off that.
So while he's moving that was back. I was 8 years old when I learned the background behind Tim. And the 2-shot with Sarah is the McArthur logo wall. What do you mean? In the 2-shot.
Oh.
So if it's the shot with just him, it's the McArthur logo wall. If it's him and me, it's our beautiful sunset from Niles. Y'all can still hear me, right? What cord? What cord are you looking for? Ooh. Yeah, we know. The cord's not long enough. Okay. You just fixed it. But now I get it to sit still. So Diabetic, he actually was doing it that way. So there's times where he will not be in the live stream and it's just me. And he will actually pre-record those clips of him in front of the wall.
All right. Okay. Well, there's that. So it won't quite look the same. That's really weird. Oh, there you go. It wasn't added. That looks kind of weird. Okay.
Okay.
Are we good?
As good as
It's
it
really
can be.
weird. So basically, this camera, the video went out on this camera. Oops. Kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Never had that happen before. 174 episodes. Well, we've had some issues in the past before,
I
but
was gonna say, don't say that. All right. I have a 24 F450 Platinum that moved to balance out and placed the new 24 F450 Platinum Plus on 930. Hopefully this one goes through scheduling quicker. So are you saying he placed a 25 F450 on 930?
Okay. So 24s are done.
Yes. So he placed a 25.
Yeah,
I thought he had a question there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Meanwhile, someone asked how many GTDs we've sold.
Yeah, I think I already answered that. They kept answering that, I think. So I don't think anybody sold a GTD, to be honest.
Yeah.
They haven't built it yet.
IT guy says to turn everything off and on again.
Yeah, I can't do that, or else
No.
we'll close the stream off. That's the hard part is that I could redo the camera. But so on this, that camera that went out was our main camera. And so I add this other camera. Well, if I take that camera off, I lose everything because this is no longer the main. I mean, it would not then become the main camera. So we would lose the stream. Well, you're on there, but anyway.
Yes.
So there you go.
All right. Other than that, what's a good address to send you a patch? the dealership address. Or private message us through Instagram.
Yep.
I had two 24 F450 platinum orders that didn't get built, and I had to reorder for 25. I heard a couple years back if you had orders that rolled over, Ford would give you up to 6,000 PCO. Is that still a thing? So, no. Those private offers were given when
I think you're getting confused with what private offer we're talking about.
he said up to 6,000 for switching for a rollover.
Okay. So you got to look at those private offers and what they're called.
Yes. So there's the ICI. Those are given
Yes.
out quarterly. If you've purchased a Ford before, they're kind of like, hey, now's a good time to purchase. Here's, this much off. Now, if you had a order in 24 rolled over to 25, you didn't get scheduled, that would be a rollover private offer. Those were only done for certain years when Ford took too many orders and could not fulfill them. This year for 2024, Ford has said, basically, we told you how many allocations you were going to get. We told you how many we were planning to build. Therefore, you should not have overtaken on orders. This is on you. We will not be giving private offers. So, therefore, if you had to reorder for 25, you will not get a private offer. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. So half of Super Duty orders are F450s.
So it sounds like.
Makes sense. People want the F450. A lot of it.
All the others have gotten scheduled.
I mean, the 24s that were left over are all F450s.
Now we're talking about unscheduled orders.
Yes.
Half of the unscheduled orders are F450.
Yes. Do North and West, you put East, but it's North and West, still have their GT Heritage editions?
No, they have their old GT from 06. They still have, I think. Well, they were talking about selling that because we pictured that. But the GT Heritage, what year was that? That one they did sell for, what was it, 130,000? Something like that. I don't know. For a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the requirement, they had to have that at least a year. So after a year, they put it up for sale and sold it. So
what's the one that they had to have longer? Like they had to have it for like 6 years or something like that.
So a year.
The white and black?
It was blue, but yeah.
Blue?
Antimatter blue. That's the Heritage Edition, the one he's talking about. So
I thought they had that longer.
The one they had the ceramic.
The clear wrap.
You only have to have it a year.
Okay. I could have sworn they had a lot longer than that.
No.
All right. I have a 2025 Mustang GT ordered through the Ford Executive Lease Program. When can I expect it to be built? I was driving the 24 long before I saw another one on the streets.
I don't know what that program is. So
yeah.
If you're a Ford executive, then
I think there's a different.
You'll have to talk to those dealers because they probably deal with that a lot more than I do. We don't get Ford executive orders, so I don't know.
Yeah. We don't get those here.
Yep.
Okay. Saw your video about removing the tonneau cover from orders. Do the rear mud flaps, spray and liner, and all-weather floor mats cause this delay as well?
Okay, so you're seeing a very old video that was probably talked about the 23, 24 model year. So I've done a lot of videos on Maverick, and you got to kind of look at the date on those orders or on those videos. I will tell you right now, spray and liners are not a constraint at all. Tonneau covers, I still would leave off your order. Mud flaps, I wouldn't leave those off your order too. But your floor liners, you should be good. So,
all right. Regarding the new Strap Bronco, I am in the group of 120 in the order banks. I am one of one at my dealership realistically, do you think I could possibly get built by March or April?
I don't know if they scheduled any of those orders yet. I mean, I don't know. We don't even know how allocations is going to work on that. So
They haven't told us much on that.
no, they haven't told us a lot on that. And here's the situation on that is that they haven't told us really anything, but originally there was 1 week where we saw that they said they're scheduling for Raptors and Strop. Makes me think it's special allocation numbers, but we didn't see anything in our numbers that show that we get a Strop allocation, and our 2 Strop orders are still in there unscheduled. So I'm not sure how that's going to be handled, and I don't think any of the Strop editions have been scheduled yet. I think it's a late availability. If I remember right in the order guide, it's a late availability, so it's probably going to be job 2 before those are starting to be built.
Which, do we know when job 2 is going to be?
No, we haven't even started job 1 yet.
You're right. You're right.
So
you might wait until job 2 is announced.
I was going to look this up and see, because I'm pretty sure that the Strop edition is a job 2.
It's been a while since we've had GT40, hasn't it?
Get down here to that. Badlands.
Supposed to be building them in January.
Oh, it just says not available to fleet. I knew there was a note on there. I wasn't sure what the note was. It just says not available.
Tim said that they're supposed to be building them in January.
They're supposed to be building Broncos in January.
But until one is scheduled, they can't build it. So
the only thing I can see is our orders. So I don't even know what's been scheduled. I mean,
so if they have scheduled a Strop Bronco for another dealer, we would not know.
We would be able to know that
unless that person came on here and said, "Hey, I got a Strop Bronco scheduled." Oh, awesome. Okay.
Because the only thing that what I can see in here is how many unscheduled they have this week, which is 120. Well, if that number goes down, it doesn't mean they scheduled necessarily. Or if it goes up, people can place orders. So these numbers are very fluid. So you might see that it's 450 this week and next week be 400. It doesn't mean that they scheduled some. It could mean that people ordered and some got scheduled, like that, like on the F-150 you see that number being the same, and hey, that's not really going down any. Why is it not going down? But yet you say they're scheduling. Well, they'll schedule orders, but then more people put in orders. See, that's kind of how that works. So really on the Strop, we don't really know. Like I said, I can only see what's going on with our orders. That's how I knew that base was scheduled. They were scheduling those, even though they said a late availability, is because we had a couple of ours that got scheduled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell on that. So, yep. And I mean, I assume they are making some in January. I mean, more than likely they are. I don't have proof of that for sure. And I don't have a brand manager that actually will answer my questions. So.
All right.
I can give you a lot of information on Maverick because I got a brand manager that actually lets me know what's going on. Not all the models do that. Not all the brand managers know who I am, and they don't always help us out. So,
Ford Performance Pro Cow Tuner for Bronco Raptor. Who in aftermarket is best to talk to?
Well, Niles is in here.
Niles was in here. If you want to go ahead and shoot him an email, he can help you out. Or if you want to call into our dealership and ask for aftermarket, any one of our aftermarket associates can help you with that.
Yep.
Let's see.
But a lot of times the dealers want to put that on themselves.
Yes.
And not let you do it yourself.
I just talked to him about it.
Yep. Because actually, I don't think, because I've seen people put it on themselves. And because I mentioned about getting it and then putting it on, and he goes, "Well, we would put it on for you." I'm like, people are doing it themselves, so I'd probably do it myself. And he was just like questioning that. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, there's instructions, I think, but so
hey, if I want to buy the parts,
But you can buy the Pro Cow through. You can go to Ford Performance website.
Yeah.
And get it. You can get it through Bronco Nation's website
Mhm.
and do it yourself.
So
If you want to
yes,
try
he
it.
wants to retain the warranty, so he would have it done.
I don't know if it voids a warranty or not, to be honest. But it's not a bad idea. I know on the Raptor to probably do that because I know that they had some issues on some of the first
Mhm.
people putting those on the Raptors. So it might not be a bad idea to have your dealer do it.
Yeah.
So, but talk to your dealer. If you're local to us, I mean, then we can put it on for you. You'd have to bring your vehicle in and all that, I guess. But
Yep.
you might just check your local dealer.
Yeah.
So, not every dealer has a aftermarket department. Some of them you
No.
just go straight to service.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. One last question. My dealer didn't know. F450 Platinum with rapid heat and Pro Power on board, is that standard 250 amp plus the Pro Alt, or is it in a different setup? Originally was told can't have rapid heat with Pro Power. Making them think.
no, I think you got to upgrade the alternator to the 410. Am I wrong on that? Let me look at the order guide. So, you're talking about the rapid heater. That's usually you put that on when you get a diesel motor. And so when adding the diesel motor, you get the rapid heat. The standard 250 amp isn't going to be enough. I think you're going to need the 410 or the dual alternator. Probably what's what it requires is a dual alternator. Let me look here. That's a good question. Go to optional equipment. Prepare on board. So here it says it is optional on your. Are you looking at platinum? Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's optional on platinum too. I'm looking here at the XLT Lariat, but let's go to platinum equipment stuff. Go skip down. Okay, so on the platinum, Pro Power on board is 2 kilowatt. It's optional. It actually doesn't say that it requires anything else, but in here. It's kind of weird because on XLT, I think it does require, it has other requirements. On here, it says for the King Ranch and the Platinum, it is optional on the 450, and it does say Pro Power on board 2 kilowatt. Is that what he's wanting? Oh, but he says with a rapid heater. So let's see. Sometimes that's separate. So sometimes when you add certain things, it does require other things. Actually, I'm not even seeing that on here. And I think when you go to the Platinum, is that the engine? On the 450, the 6.7 liter is standard equipment. So it might come standard with the rapid heater. I don't even see that as an option. I don't know why not. This is a good one. This is a good puzzle. Sometimes you got to do some looking around on this. Here's your rapid heat supplemental heater. See, optional in all states with the 6.7 Power Stroke diesel engine, but it doesn't say it requires the Pro Power on board or vice versa on that. So I would see, I don't see an issue with that. What's really weird is I don't see it listed under the optional for the, when you go to the King Ranch and the Platinum, which makes me think that it might be, oh, there it is. Okay, so it's optional, and it does not say it requires any kind of alternators or anything else. And the Pro Power on board doesn't say that either. So you should be good to just add it. So anyway, there you go. It looks like they're compatible. I mean, it doesn't say they're not, so. But I think when you go diesel motor, it automatically wants you to get the dual alternator. I would probably make sure you order the dual alternator, and that should fix your problem. But
Yeah.
that'd be my take on that. So,
All right. Do orders get prioritized as they come in? Example, there's 150 base metal F-150s among 10 dealers, but you sent your order in before everyone else. Does yours get built before the others? So if it's between 10 dealers, technically each dealer, no, so it's 150 orders between 10 dealers. Each dealer gets their own set of allocations.
Yeah.
So each dealer most likely has at least one allocation. So you'd have at least 10 orders getting scheduled. But what they're looking at first is the date that you got submit, or no, order code,
configuration,
date that you submitted. And that typically is how it goes. So when they say that there's a list, there isn't technically a list or placement on that list for you. It's about your configuration, where you are in the priority codes, how your dealer is allocating, putting you in. There's just a bunch of different ways that it can be done. I mean, we've seen someone that wanted to wait and they put mud flaps on their vehicle because they knew that that was a constraint and they didn't want to get scheduled. And lo and behold, they got scheduled. So it's what Ford is looking for each week when they're scheduling. And that it really just comes down to that.
And it's really within your dealership, because Ford wants to do is like for us, okay, you have 50 allocations that need to get scheduled. And so they want to fulfill those allocations for you, because otherwise they owe you and they don't want to owe you. And so they will want to schedule those. So it's orders within the dealership, really looking at, hey, I mean, we can see what the math is for all the different dealers. We know what their capacity is overall, but their first and foremost is to kind of to help you with that. And if it's a retail order, they want to get all the retail orders taken care of. So before they worry about a dealer with stock orders. That's why dealers get stuck with some weird stock or stuff on their lots, is because that's what Ford is left over after all the retails are selected for scheduling, right? Is here's the configurations, kind of like I would not be surprised if you start seeing some Bronco Sports Big Bends with the Black Diamond package, because if they're not getting retail orders for it and dealers don't place them, they'll pump the orders into the dealer's stock orders, and the dealers can't delete those, and you'll start seeing those pop on dealer lots because they can't get people to pick it, and dealers don't want to pick it, so then they'll force it in because they know that's a capacity. So or that they can make those, so then they'll get those put in there. But in this case, they always want to do retails first, and so it really is within your
dealer,
within your dealer. So that's why I always say, like, somebody said, hey, I placed my order here, they asked me, like, hey, when do you think I'll get scheduled? Like, well, that is really hard for me to know because I don't know the scope of what's going on at your dealership. That's where it really happens.
Well, and I had someone that was like, so I was like, so how many allocations does your dealer get a month for Maverick? And they're like, or I said, how many allocations does your dealer get? And they're like, I think 60. I was like, per month? And he's like, no, I think for the full year. I'm like, okay, different ball game. We get a higher allocation number than they do because on average, if you average that out, that's about 5 allocations per month for the year.
And really, to be honest, they don't do it on a yearly basis.
No.
It's month to month.
Yes. So maybe they're going, okay, so we're seeing this many a month. Let's average that and say this is how many we're getting for the year. Lo and behold, whatever. So, while we get this many allocations, and we actually do a lot of truck sales, so we get a lot of truck allocations, while some dealers might get a lot of escape allocations because they're in town and a lot of people there like escape. It really depends on your graphic region and what your dealer is best at selling.
Yeah.
So, all right. We have Catherine Fly here. She's the one that messaged us about placing her order.
Oh, good. Yes.
She said rapid heat and PPO adds dual alt, I believe. So.
Okay.
All right.
Was she the one that was their dealer? So hopefully, because I know you wanted to order with us, so hopefully we weren't the ones that couldn't figure that out.
No.
It's
So Sony Television said is
okay.
the one that asked that.
Okay.
And then he also said the website lets you build PPO with rapid heat, and it says 250 amp alternator, but without PPO, it forces 410.
Okay.
So
Because I think the Pro Power on board helps and assists, so that's why,
yes.
yeah, you need that. So,
Yeah.
all right,
So,
cool. All right, we got some scheduling notes we can go through, or some dealer news here. We're down to one camera. That is really weird how that works. It's funny that the audio is done through a different thing. It's not done through our cameras, which is kind of cool. All right.
you know it's cold in the dealership when Sarah has a blanket.
Yeah. All right, don't have a lot of dealer news. There's a couple things in here that I actually haven't read through, which is scary. Sometimes I print these out as they happen, and then I'll go through them for the live stream, and I didn't have time. So we're going to read some of this because some of these are 3 pagers, and I'm not going to read all that. But this first one says that Ford Pass Rewards is earning opportunity for eligible F-150 and Super Duty customers. So we've talked about in the past that Ford security package is available for 1 year. And to do that, you have to sign up for the connected services and everything. And I guess those customers are not doing that. So they're basically enticing them by giving them some Ford Pass rewards points. So if it says in here that eligible Ford Pass rewards members will receive 2,500 points within 24 hours of activating the 1 year included plan. So this is a free plan you get for 1 year. So if you go ahead and register for that to get the Ford security package, then they're going to give you free 2,500 points. So if you are an F-150 owner for 25 model year, if you're going to be getting an F-150 Super Duty, make sure you go in and do that. You get those extra rewards points. So, which is kind of cool because you can use those on all kinds of other stuff like accessories. All right. And this other one says connected services. Oh, this is for dealers. So, I mentioned in actually a couple months or maybe a month ago, I did a short on it recently because I took it from our live stream. But those connected services, there's a lot of different ones. You have that Ford connected services, and you have the Blue Cruise, and all those different connected services. And some of those come with, included 1 year plan, or like Blue Cruise, you get 3 months for free. Well, dealers can now add revenue to the dealership by providing those services. If the customer wants to purchase a 1 year or a lifetime plan, then they can purchase it through the dealer, and the dealer gets to make a little bit of money on that. They get a kickback from it, right? And so this is just a reminder to dealers that, hey, they can do that. So, teach your customers how to do that. And it goes through the steps in here of how to do payments and everything else. So if you're a dealer needing information on that, and you're watching the live stream, then you can check out the Connected Services program for dealers shared revenue share on that. And it's a great way too, I think, as a service to customers. If like, hey, you don't know whether or not you want it, and then you go in and test drive your vehicle and go, okay, I do like that Blue Cruise because it's already activated. That's the time that, just like with any kind of other stuff in finance, like warranties and such, you can go ahead and say, okay, go ahead and sign me up for the 1 year plan now, or sign me up for the one-time payment. I just want this for my vehicle. I'm going to keep it a while. So you can then get that through your dealership, just like you can a warranty or something like that. So it makes it convenient for you because then you don't have to worry about trying to get that later. Now you can also get it through Ford Pass or through the Ford Connected Services on through your Ford account. You can do that later as well. You don't have to do it through your dealer. So just keep that in mind. But that is a way for dealers to kind of to let people know that. Also, this in here is kind of weird. Does say it says, be aware all 25 model year diesel Super Duty chassis cab units above 19,500 gross vehicle weight rating should only be sold or delivered to customers who register their vehicles outside the state of California. So I think we talked about this, but this is an update to this. This came out before, and this is kind of an update to that. It says starting in March of 2025, production of 25 model year diesel Super Duty chassis cabs units at 19.5 gross vehicle weight should only be sold or delivered to customers who register their vehicles in the state of California. So they are limiting some of that. So this is in addition to the ongoing uh, moratorium on sales and deliveries in California for 25, 26 model year diesel F650s and 750s and the 25 model year diesel F600s. So it says in here, be advised that Ford is requiring all dealers to acknowledge and comply with this restriction by signing an attestment or attestation. Sorry. A lot of T's in that. Review the compliance with standards section and everything else. So this is kind of for dealers. So there are some restrictions for California. So, yep, diesel, Super Duty diesel restriction above 19.5. They cannot be registered in California. So it's very interesting. So anyway, okay, that's all I have for dealer news. Just those three, but I have some information on order guide updates. So I usually include in the dealer news. So at the beginning of every month, typically, if there's any order guides that they've noticed, oh, there's some corrections, misspellings, some things like that. A lot of times they'll update those order guides on a monthly basis. So they'll call them monthly order guide updates. And for the beginning of December, they did update 6 different model order guides: F-150 Lightning, Maverick, the Super Duty pickup, not the cab and chassis version, the Expedition, as well as the Explorer and Ranger. So it's kind of weird. So sorry. There we go. And so let me go over those changes. Now on the Lightning, there were some significant changes that I thought was a little surprising. And one of them was there on the F-150, there's a bed storage box like the Maverick gets, and they removed that from the order guide. So it looks like the Lightnings will not have the bed storage box in those. Also, something else that I was actually really disappointed in, and that is if you ordered the mobile power cord, you got the adapter for being able to use that adapter came with your mobile cord. They've removed the fast charging adapter from the mobile cord. So that is something that's been removed now. So if you have any of those, I think, and on all versions, they removed that. So that is kind of puzzling there. So not sure now, I guess. And I did email the brand manager. I haven't kind of replied back yet to find out if they still get a free charger or if they've just kind of eliminated it altogether and they have to pay for their chargers. I don't know. Also, they added a new standard equipment keypad entry. They had removed that and made it a dealer installed option on all trim levels. Well, they've reverted that back. The Lariat and Platinums will get it as standard equipment already, so they'll have that on there. But for those that want an XLT and a flash, then you'll see them as a dealer installed option. So we actually know you cannot order an F-150 Lightning, so I'm not sure why I'm going through this, other than if you see vehicles out there and you see one, hey, I got the mobile power cord, it's going to come with adapter. It's not. Just so you're aware, when you see those available at for dealers for 25 model year, once they start hitting the dealers, then there you go. And there are a lot of dealers that don't know how to get these Lightnings. We've had a lot of dealers contact us for dealer trades on Lightnings. I don't think they realize that they can get these through the rapid replenishment or the retail centers.
Yeah.
And they don't know that's how they get them. So they're just like clueless, I guess. Anyway, also some other changes. And I think these are just some things that were there, but they added it to the order guide because they lifted off. Like this one here on the Pro standard features, they added the LED taillights. Well, they were already there. It wasn't in the description. They also added the front and rear wheel well liner. That was there last year, but I think they omitted it for this year. And some of these I actually told them about. So I noticed a couple changes in some of these order guides, and I'm like, oh yeah, I told them about that. So it may be some other. I'm probably not the only one that noticed it and let them know. But also the power tailgate lock, they added that and to the standard. So that was already there. They just omitted it. And on the XLT optional equipment, and I think in above, they dropped the drop-in bed liner. So that was an option before, and it's not there anymore. So they removed that. So anyway, now on the Maverick, really nothing really major. What they did is they used to have on the order guide, they had rotary dial shifter with these drive modes is the way it read. They actually divided those out because the drive mode is on the steering wheel, and so the rotary dial is separate. So they separated those out. So in the order guide, so that made it a little bit easier on some other optional equipment. when they mentioned you get different drive modes like the FX4, then they don't have to have the rotodial shifter on there with this drive modes, because the rotodial shifter doesn't change. Everybody gets it. It's just the drive modes is different. So, and then on the FX4 package, they removed the phrase replace ST tailgate all-wheel drive, or the replaces the tailgate all-wheel drive badge. So on the FX4 package, there's no need for the all-wheel drive badge on the back or any badging, really, be honest, because FX4 is only available in EcoBoost and only available in all-wheel drive. So they felt like there was no reason to have a badge on it, because it's all-wheel drive EcoBoost. So they just removed that. So in case you're wondering that. On the Super Duty, they did add wireless to the keypad dealer installed option on the XLT and the Lariat. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, they all should be wireless. It's a dealer installed option, but they just want people to know it's not hardwired in anymore. They also corrected the grill on the Platinum. I actually let them know about this one, the brand manager. I let them know that, hey, you still have the description from last year, which it was the satin chrome, because now it's the black. So it's the unique painted black grill for that. So they did correct that. On the Platinum Plus package, they did add several different perks. They added the word front on the premium suede wrapped pillars and the premium leather interior grab handle. So it's just the front ones. So in case you were thinking it was both, it is not, just evidently just the front. And then on the Platinum Plus experience, they removed the extra Ford Pass rewards points. That they had you got some extra rewards points in there, and they removed that, so you don't get them. But they also did change the 1-year maintenance plan to the premium maintenance plan up to 2 years or 25,000 miles. So they did give you a better maintenance plan that's included on the Platinum Plus experience if you get the Platinum Plus edition on the Super Duty. All right, Expedition. Just a few changes to the order guide that needed to be done. One of them is that they removed the word power from the panoramic Vista roof. And I emailed the brand manager on this too. Haven't got a reply back yet. But it looks like they removed the word power, which makes me think that it's just a glass roof with a power sunshade. So not like a twin panel, which might make your mom a little happy. She doesn't like the moonroof.
Yes.
Anyway, so there you go. And then, yeah, so they made that change on that. Also, the signature grill lighting was added to the Platinum Standard page. That was missing. It was there, or it was going to get it, but the wording was just was omitted from the order guide. So they added that there, and because of that, they were able to remove that wording on the trimmer, because trimmer is included on Platinum Plus this. So, or actually the King Ranch. I'm sorry, the King Ranch, they removed it from it. And also the taillights, signature and redundant on the trimmer and Platinum standard page was added. So it was, I think it said taillight signature, and it's signature and redundant. And then also they still had the description for the interior as Cypress they pulled that over from Timberline last year for the trimmer. They updated it. It is the black onyx with electric spice for the trimmer. So, and then on the Explorer, the only thing that they did was they removed the passenger knee airbag on the Active. So that was in there, and evidently the passenger does not get a knee airbag. So they wanted to make sure that was corrected for people. On the Ranger, they changed the daytime running lights from the on-off to configurable. So they just changed the wording to that. They didn't like the wording. They also added the images to the wheels, to the wheel page, and they also added the body-colored painted front. Can't even see my own letter. Front fascia with the silver lower valance to the chrome accent package. So that was added. That wasn't there before. So there you go. A couple of changes there. Again, some of that stuff is just corrections to things that people noticed, people like me, that lets them know, hey, you might want to correct this on this. So
yeah,
do the best we can to get all the correct information out there. So, all right. Any questions there?
I don't think.
Oh, I forgot to pull recalls. All right, we have to do this a little differently. Let me get recalls. There was only like one or two. showing. And there is no recall fix to the Maverick yet.
Nope.
So we're going to do this a little differently. So
One of our members forgot that there was a stop sale. They're like, did you sell all your Mavericks? Not seeing any on the website. The recall.
Yeah. It's the recall. All right. They're sitting in the back. All right. So this in here is a for recall 24N07 for 2012 to 2018 Focus vehicles. So this in here, wow, that affects 1,483,446 vehicles. Wow, they build a lot of Focuses. Anyway, this program provides a no-cost one-time replacement. This is a customer satisfaction program, not a safety recall. If needed for the canister purge valve for 15 years of service, unlimited miles from the warranty start date of the vehicle. This is a one-time repair program. So once they do it, then you don't get it again. They say owner letters are expected to be mailed by December 6th of 2024. Dealers should repair any affected vehicles that require a CPV replacement. There's that. All right. All right, go back. I think there is 2 more. All right, this in here is a safety recall. This is 24S67. This is for 2023 to 2024 transit vehicles equipped with a 9.75 rear axle incorrect bolt replacement. So this is supplement. This is an update, I believe, to that recall. There's an original recall was October 18th of 24. And I think this is supplement number 3. So it's an update. Only 809 vehicles are affected by this. But for the safety recall, incorrect part number and description details were provided with the safety recall 24S05 dealer bolts in supplement number 2, which could have led to the wrong bolts being ordered and installed on vehicles. This can result in rear wheel lockup or possible separation of the wheel from the axle shaft, resulting in a loss of vehicle control or loss of vehicle motive power. So in some cases, the vehicle may roll and park if the park brake is not applied. So letters are going to go out the week of December 9th. So there you go. So that's coming up. And then lastly, one more recall. This is on Broncos. And at first I was excited about this because I thought maybe, just maybe, this is on 24 model year Broncos. And this is for the soft top canopy replacement. This program provides a no-cost one-time repair to the soft top canopy for 5 years of service or 60,000 miles from the warranty start date of the vehicle, whichever occurs first. If a vehicle has already exceeded either the time or mileage limits, this no-cost one-time repair will last through December 31st of 2025. 1,688 people affected by this. In some of the affected vehicles, the noise, vibration, harshness fabric pad attached to the interior of the soft top may separate from the soft top material over time. So owners will be expected to receive letters the week of December 16th or sooner. So there you go. Darn, thought I was going to get a new cloth top. Oh, well. There you go. That's all the recalls. And I don't think I put the slide up, but that's all right. There's that.
All right.
Okay. Moving on to Is It True? Talk Maverick.
Yes.
Drop something on the desk. All right. For Is It True? This week, I did want to talk about the Maverick. So the 25 model year Mavericks are shipping out. And there are going to be some people. I did talk about this yesterday. If you had a chance to watch that video where I talked about the Mavericks, and I talked about that once the quality hold is done, they'll start shipping out any of the Mavericks. And what you're going to see, and I said this in Monday's video, and it's funny that it just happened the day later, is you're going to see some people that were just built and theirs are going to be shipped out, but people that have been built for 2 or 3 weeks that aren't shipped out yet. And this did happen. We had 6 of our Mavericks that did get shipped. Well, one's on a rail. The rest are saying they're released with ETAs, which means they're probably going to be, they've been released from the factory to the shipping company. They just haven't been put on the rail yet. So that's why they have ETAs. Now, on this, of those orders, we did have one that was built just last week. That's the one that's on a rail. But we do have a couple that were built the week before that have ETAs, and one of them from the first week that has an ETA. So it's pretty random. So the point is that you might be asking, wait a minute, yours was built in December and it's been shipped out, but mine, which was built 2 weeks ago, hasn't been shipped, and they're going to be really mad. But just know that is just the way it is. They'll go out as they can and as they can get them out. Now, here's the thing. If they did a quality check on this stuff and they found something that was of an issue, right? And they're like, okay, so this is an issue we need to correct before we let these go out. They'll need to go back to all those other units and make that correction on those units. So it might take longer for those to get shipped out. Whereas if they figured that out while the vehicles are in production now, those can just go out because they took care of it on those. So that's kind of how that works.
So Douglas Blair brings up a question that we've had before when we had 24 holdbacks, we had stop sale recalls done, and Mavericks weren't shipping. And even before that, when they were getting backed up. So many people are crying that they can't get their truck. They've been out there rusting away. These vehicles are made to be outside. They're made to be in the rain. My
Bronco's been outside for 3 years.
They're made to be out in the rain and to be in the elements. They are not going to sit there and rust for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They will be okay.
Yep, they will.
I promise. I know we kind of want to baby our brand new vehicles.
Well, some people do garage there, so they want their vehicle and they want to put it in the garage, and that makes sense.
They want it to be pristine, and I get that.
They'll be right. Don't forget your warranty starts when you take delivery of your vehicle.
Yes.
The mileage that has on it and the time you get it. That's when your warranty starts. It doesn't start from when it was built.
So. Yes. Yeah.
And you gotta, these are, they're gonna get shipped out. Now, again, there is a pattern to it. I don't know how they come up with it, but that's just the way. I mean,
and we've seen it before where the Mavericks sit there. We had someone's Maverick sit there for 8 months?
Yes.
And it came in and it drove well.
Mine set for 4 months.
You were set for 4 months. It's okay if they sit there for a time. If the battery's not going well, if something's wrong with the vehicle when it comes in, it gets taken care of before it's sold to you.
Yeah.
So that's why you always want to test drive if you can. If you're out of state and you're not here, you can certainly ask your salesman, hey, can you do a video starting the truck? Maybe drive it real quick for me. Make sure that it's in good condition for me. And then that can help ease your mind if you're out of state.
Well, there's a reason why the service departments have to do a pre-delivery inspection.
Yes. Is
they have to make sure that it has all the right fluids, that it runs fine. They do a quick little test drive, make sure everything is good with it. They take care. They make sure that it's running right and everything before they sign off on the inspection. There's a checklist they have, the things they have to do.
Chips in the paint, anything
they're
wrong
inspected
with it
when they come in. Yeah,
gets fixed before you take delivery. So your vehicle is going to be brand new. Mm-hmm. So if there's rust on the brakes or rust anywhere on the vehicle, it gets taken care of.
But it's not. I was not surprised one bit because I saw this happen on my expedition. No, so a lot of people are thinking, okay, this is a big deal to Maverick. But I don't know if you knew this, but F-150s haven't shipped out yet either. So 25 F-150s have been built for a couple weeks now, and they haven't shipped out either. So they're still non-shippable on those. Again, anytime there's a new model year, we're going to have this happen. You'll see a time that they need to just make sure everything's good. Again, we talk. I do encourage you to watch yesterday's video on the Maverick because I was enlightened a little bit about how production works and the switch over from one model year to the next, and that they don't completely just shut one down and start building the first one the next day. they build some of that model year while they're still building the previous model year. So the dates that we hear of, hey, production started November 11th for the Maverick. Well, that's when full production started. Believe it or not, there was a limited number that were built prior to that. We actually have one of our orders that was built on the 7th of November. So they have a very small number that they run along with the 24s. So before they stop production of 24s, they make sure the 25s are good to build, and that there's no problems there with the suppliers and the labor staff of putting those together, and they know what's going on. So that continues to happen, and then they'll go, okay, we're ready for full production, and they call that MP1 and MP2. They do the same thing for switching from job 1 to job 2 as well. And like I mentioned, that was somebody said they were getting some of the job 2 features, but theirs was being built in January, and I thought, well, that's weird because February 3rd is where job 2 starts. Well, full production job 2 starts. But just like with the switch over from 24 to 25 model year, they're doing the same thing for job 2. There'll be some job 2s that are going to be built in limited quantities along with the job 1s to make sure they're ready to switch over to job 2 before they actually do the switch over.
Yeah.
So the same thing is happening there. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, it's pretty enlightening, I think, but hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, we saw it with Super Duty.
We're gonna see that. I mean, I looked at our orders, and I can pull it up. I won't put it on the screen because I don't necessarily want to do that. But on our Mavericks,
next time I see a spy photo of a future Ford, I want to see the vehicle traveling in reverse as well as drive.
So of ours, we have 24 Mavericks that are produced, that are built. And 6 of those have been released from the plant with ETAs. Now, if you look at the dates, because I actually put in here what day they were actually built, because I could see that in VinView. And of those, the one that is on the rail was actually built November 25th. Then the one that was built the 6th has been released, but has not hit the rail yet. It's not on a rail. And then there's one that was built the 19th that's been released, the 13th, the 25th, and the 26th. And like I said, we have ones in here that were built the 7th, the 14th, 15th, 16th, 16th, 21st. Those are not been released yet. So anyway, so that's going to happen. That's just the way it'll work usually. But you're going to see a lot built this week that'll get shipped right out. So sometimes, again, this is where you're fortunate. I said this with my Expedition. This happened. The ones that we had that were actually built after the chip hold was over and they had chips in, the ones that were on the factory, the production line, they came in long before mine did. So you're going to see that happen. The people that were built the first 4 weeks and they're sitting, they're going to come in after the people that are getting built this week. So you're almost at a benefit if yours was built in December instead of January. So, but I did say most people will not see their Maverick until January. They're getting shipped out this week. So today is the first day they got put on a rail. Most places, it takes 4 weeks to get your Mavericks. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be January.
Yeah.
But if you're in Arizona or California, they could come in the week of Christmas.
Yes.
There is a very possibility some people are going to have Christmas presents come in. If you're in California, Arizona, because a lot of those, it takes about a week for them to get over.
Who was like, yeah, it took a week to get from the plant to me in Arizona.
Yes.
So, like, it literally took a week from the time that was released from the factory to the point that his dealer had it. It was a week.
So it goes over the border in Arizona. What's the city that's there? It's the same name. They have a Mexico. It's named whatever, and they have it in Mexico and Arizona. But the city's like goes over the border. I can't remember what that city's called. Anyway, that city there, they'll come over and they'll switch to a U.S. rail at that point. And then if they're in Arizona, then they go up to a depot right there, and I think Phoenix it is. So if you're in the Arizona area, you're going to probably get yours in 2 weeks. Yeah. So there's a good possibility if anybody's in Arizona that these got put on a rail this week, then they could get them the week of Christmas. That would be the earliest. California could be the week after that, so right around the 1st, but most everybody else
Well,
isn't going to see them until January.
Yeah.
So,
so someone did say Nogales. Yes.
Nogales, yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Someone did say at least this recall with the Maverick is a software recall and not a hardware. Because if it was hardware, we would have to wait for parts to come in to complete those. At least with software, we can take that fixed and we can try and get those done as soon as possible.
There are a lot of people that think they were like, well, maybe what Ford will do is they'll give us all Sync 3. I'm like, no, they won't. That is going to cost them way too much money. If they have to take that whole system out and put a Sync 4 system in there, that is going to cost them. There's like, what was it, 280,000 Mavericks affected by this. That would cost them a lot of money. It'd be a lot easier for them to just do a software fix. So they will not. I don't think. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been like surprised by, okay, so they did do that. So, but I don't think we got a whole new system. So,
all right.
Would it be easier? Maybe. If they had a bunch of Sync 3s from Bronco Sports from 24, they could just put them in all the other vehicles, right? It'd be nice. It would be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. There for a while, I thought Sync 3 was better than Sync 4, to be honest. Like your mom was having a lot of issues with her Sync 4 for a while until she got an update.
Yeah.
The great thing about Sync 4 is you got over-the-air updates on them. So they can easily do an update without having to do a lot of other things. So there's a lot of cool things that can be done. So which is really nice having that in the new 25 Mavericks. So Sync 4 and on all the features that go along with that.
Yeah.
I do like my wireless Android Auto now because I just turn on my Bluetooth when I get in my vehicle and then it connects. I pick my vehicle and then it connects right up and then I'm into Android Auto. So I really do like that because I shut my Bluetooth. You guys should do this too. Shut your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi off when you're not at home. When you're in public, shut that off. People can hack into your phone. I'm telling you. Via Bluetooth, via Wi-Fi. So anyway, all right. Any other questions about that?
No,
but it's good news. They are shipped. What they call okay to buy has happened. Still waiting on the F-150. They haven't received theirs yet.
Yeah.
Bronco Sports, I haven't looked up any of their orders, but hopefully Bronco Sports are. We don't have that as many. We don't have hardly any Bronco Sport orders. So I haven't even, looked them up to see for sure. Actually, we don't even have any being built until I guess they were built. We had some built last week. Some Bronco Sports. But anyway, not very many. We got a business that ordered 10 of them, Bronco Sports.
Yeah.
A bunch of Big Bens. But anyway, all right. All right. Should we get into the topic? We won't have a lot to talk about this, but it's just something that's, I think, kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Ford decided they built the Mustang GTD and they wanted to run it on the Nurburgring. I'm gonna just call it the ring because I probably didn't even say that right. This is a very this is a road a course that they test a lot of these vehicles. If they'll go there, they'll test it. They'll record laps and they'll see how good they do. And so Ford did this with the Mustang. They're like, we're going to put this on there, and our goal is to break 7 minutes. 7 minutes is like the goal. It is the gold standard for a race vehicle for different manufacturers. And so Ford did do this. There's a couple videos out. I will add it. It's not in there in the notes right now, but I'll try to add those links for that. There's a couple of them. One is called The Road to the Ring. And that's a documentary. It's a 13-minute documentary that led them up to that point and everything. And then there is actually a video where you can actually see the 7-minute run with a dash cam on there and then a camera on the driver and also the going around the track and everything. It's pretty cool, actually. I did watch it. I watched the whole 7 minutes, but it's pretty cool. But the GTD, they did go under 7 minutes. And I said this, I'm like, okay, they were going to show the results of this. And I said, okay, I wasn't sure. I'm like, maybe we should wait to see if they actually do it. I'm like, wait a minute. they're putting together this marketing thing. They're going to put this out. They broke the 7 minutes. They would not do this and make a big deal about
Yeah.
this if they didn't go sub 7 minutes. I mean, why would you, right?
Right.
So we knew that was going to happen. So I decided, let's throw this out there. So they did 6 minutes and 57 seconds. And it says in here that they were only the 6th stock production sports car to complete an official certified sub 7-minute lap, and the 5th fastest in the production sports car class, according to their records. So the track records. So that's pretty cool. So you can check out the videos they've done, social media posts, and all kinds of other stuff there. But this is Germany's iconic Nurburgring. Anyway, I won't be able to say it because I can't say it right. Even though I am part German, I still can't say it. This is the gold standard for sports car development, and the Mustang GTD is the first car from the American brand to complete a lap in under 7 minutes. So no American brand has been able to go under 7 minutes. All the others, Porsche's done it, Mercedes, and some of the others, but not an American brand has gone under 7 minutes. So they did that. Multimatic Motorsports driver Dirk Moeller, I think is his name, did do that. And by the way, so you didn't know this, the GTD has a 815 horsepower on it. So it is a supercharged V8. But what's really funny is you can supercharge a regular Mustang right now and get 810 horsepower. Just a little known fact. You won't have all the aerodynamics and everything that the GTD has, but it's also about $200,000 less or more. Anyway, more really. But there you go. So that was pretty cool. And then also, in case you didn't know this, why they might think, why didn't they just use a GT3? Well, the GT3 has certain requirements to be able to race in the GT3 racing circuit. The GTD does not have any of those requirements. So they can pretty much do what they want with the vehicle, right? So they can do all kinds of stuff for development. So when people out there are purchasing and buying the GTD, it is going to be what they raced on that race or on the racetrack. That's exactly what you're going to be purchasing, all that technology. I'm sure engineers geared it certain ways to do what they needed it to do that yours may not have if you are able to purchase one of those. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyway,
how much is a Mustang GTD?
$315,000, I think. Somewhere in there, right around 300,000. Cheap, right? Yeah, crazy. But yeah, I got to see one. Got to do. It's been you'll see those GTDs at different auto shows and everything. But I was able to. We went Ford, brought us to the thing where they showed the GT3 to GT4, and the Dark Horse R was there. Of course, we saw that and revealed. But then they had the GTD and they revealed it and talked all about it. And the aerodynamics. If you watch the video, you can see the spoiler actually open and close and like give you a double wing kind of thing. So that you can be able to I assume to slow it down or keep it down. But also you can see where the air can come through. They can adjust. There's a little flap underneath, and that can be adjusted down and be and lowered down to allow for it to slow down quicker and get back up to speed quicker.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, but they did it. So there you go.
Like Chris's question. How many Ford Pass points do you get if you buy a GTD?
Only would they lower that down to the 32 points now? 32,000, right? From 42,000 to 32 or 34. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. So there's that. But kind of cool. I didn't really have a lot on it, but it was just something to kind of talk about. But it's pretty cool. Check out the video if you haven't a chance. But there you go.
All right. So, can someone remind me if the keyless entry keypad arrives at the dealer as a separate item and not part of the Hermosillo assembly? Yes.
Well, it's sent from the plant, but it is dealer installed.
Yes. Does Ford look at customer name in ordering vehicles? For example, if I put 10 orders for the same truck with 10 different dealers, would that increase my odds of getting the vehicle?
No, increase how many vehicles you get because they're probably all scheduled.
We've actually had that happen where someone places an order with us, places with their local dealer, and then both get scheduled the same week.
Yeah. So Doesn't really. Again, orders are really dependent on your dealer, right? So it's, you know, I always say if you're looking to figure out what dealer I should order with, you know, I got a small town dealer. They don't get a lot of vehicles. Should I not order with them? Whatever. Well, what you want to find out is a dealer should be able to tell you, okay, typically we get this many allocations a month for this vehicle. And currently we don't have any orders, or we have this many orders, or whatever. Like I can do that. Like Ranger Raptor, we put out the deal where we're doing invoice pricing on Ranger Raptor. Well, we get about 2 to 3 Ranger Raptor allocations a month, right? So I know that we have 20 orders. Well, we tell those people when they place orders, just so you know, we're doing invoice pricing, but you're one of 20 people and we get 2 to 3 allocations a month. So it could take up to 6 months to get your order scheduled for a production date. So it could take, the process could be 9 months for you, but we are doing invoice pricing. Some dealers still doing marking them up. What I think Jack mentioned in Florida, that there's dealers that have Ranger Raptors on their lots and they're $4,000 over MSRP.
And they can't get rid of them.
They're not selling them. Well, there's a reason why. And the reason, and you might ask, well, why are we doing invoice pricing and not MSRP? We were doing MSRP, but we weren't receiving orders. People weren't ordering with us, even though we had allocations. So what we had was we had allocations that we were using for stock. And then when they would come in, people were like, well, I'd get that, but I wanted this wheel or I wanted this color instead. So we'd rather instead for those allocations use actual orders. And that's why we did the invoice pricing deal. So now, one of the things I noticed this last week was we had 2 allocations, and the 2 that got scheduled both had the beadlock wheel on the Raptor, but they had nothing else added but the wheel. There are other people. There was somebody else that had the beadlock wheel, but they had something else on their order. So those other 2 got selected first. Now, I will say this: if you look at the timestamp, it's not. This is why I say it's not always timestamp. That's important. Of the 20 orders, only 3 of them had the beadlock wheel. None of the non-beadlock wheels got scheduled. So the 2 people that got scheduled were not the first and second order placed.
Yes.
They were actually the 4th and 5th order placed. So the first 3 orders that were placed by timestamp, they got overlooked. They did not have the beadlock wheel. They wanted to schedule at some point, for some reason, they wanted to schedule as many beadlock wheels because they knew how many they could produce, and then they'd fill the rest of the orders with non-beadlocks after that.
Yeah.
So they knew what their capacity was on that and say, okay, we can make 100, let's say it's 100 with the beadlock wheel this month. Let's schedule those first.
Yeah.
And then if a dealer had, like, let's say we only had 1 beadlock wheel, we probably would have only gotten 1 scheduled this week. And then the next week they would have scheduled the other non-beadlock wheel, right? So that's kind of, you got to kind of look at it from their standpoint of what they're trying to do. Once you understand how production works and how supply demand, the parts that they're getting for these options fits in, then you start to understand a little bit better.
Yeah. What happened to the Ford Explorer's double window visor? I had one in my 1991 2-door Explorer and I loved it. Haven't seen anything like it since. Is that the one where you
flip it and you can turn it and the other one can flip down?
I love those.
Yeah. I don't know why they went away from that. There was some that had it for a while, but yeah.
They went away from it.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Don't know why.
All right. Any other questions?
Is the Maverick rear view camera recall 24V684? If so, several websites are reporting software fixes now available.
Okay. Don't think so. That's not their actual recall.
Yeah.
I think the recall is 24. Actually, it's usually 2 numbers, a letter, and 2 numbers. So that version is not correct. So, and then the V, so a safety recalls are usually an S. So it'll usually be like 24S and then 2 numbers. I think it was 59. I think it's 24S59 is the actual recall. So, but we've checked. And in fact, I was going right off of the recall page when I was doing recalls earlier, and there's not been a fix. Trust me, our technicians, our guys back in the shop, they are actually searching it every single day. Every single morning, they're searching whether or not there's a fix for that recall. So Yeah, we have
they've
80 to do.
They've
So,
been asked to do that every single day.
yep, every day, see if there's a fix that morning. So they check every single morning to see if there's a fix
Because
for
as
that
soon
recall.
as we can fix it, we're fixing as many as we can that day.
Well, we have people that are ready to buy them
Yes.
and that are waiting for the recall to be fixed
Yeah.
to buy them. And so,
Yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts on dealer markups? Some Raptor R's F-150s have 65,000 markup above MSRP.
that's a lot. Okay, so here's the thing on that. I think market value, whether it be above or below MSRP, is what we do. We see what are they going for. We have brokers that contact us and say, we'll take any Raptor R's that you have at 20 grand over. Well, there's the market, because they're going to take it, they're going to buy it from us at 20 grand over, and then they're going to sell it to somebody else and make money. Usually sell it to another dealer that's looking for some Raptor R's. And so that's how you can tell, okay, those are still bringing 20 grand over at the auctions or whatever. And that's what the market value is. And as long as there's a limited number, because there are some dealers that only see one or two of those a year, right? And if I'm only going to get one or two,
right,
it's
a constrained commodity.
Supply and demand. We talked about that earlier with how they're talking about houses, but supply and demand, it goes back to that. So there's not as much supply out there. There's demand. Like for us, we don't have a Raptor R in stock.
Yes.
Right? Why? Because we can't. I mean, people are willing to pay 20 grand. Like, I think our price on them, we are doing. There's only like 2 vehicles that we're doing over MSRP right now, and they're both Raptor. F-150 Raptors. So Raptor R's were 20 grand over, which is wholesale. When we say wholesale, that means we could sell it to a broker for 20 grand over. Nobody would be the wisest. We'll get our 20 grand and move on. We want to sell it to a retail customer.
Right.
For several reasons. One of them is because then we keep allocations. If we sell it to a broker, then we lose that allocation. But we want other people to enjoy it, because we know that if we sell it to broker, they're going to sell it to that customer and be 30 grand, right?
Yeah.
We're actually benefiting and helping the customer sell it at 20
And what
grand.
we do is a little bit unique. So we'll set it at that market price, but if it's not selling it, you'll see that price start to dip.
Or if we don't get orders, right?
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier on Raptors, where we were Ranger Raptors, where we're getting allocations, but we weren't getting orders, we lowered our price.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're seeing on the F-150 Raptor R too, is that we get about 1 allocation a month or something around there, and we have people in line waiting at 20 grand over. So, and then our Raptor 37, our F-150 Raptor 37, we're at 10 grand over, I think, but our regular Raptors were at sticker on those.
Right.
But also the other point is, you can say, well, there are a lot of people that really have kind of bang me in the comments and give me a bad time about that. I'm like, for one, I don't dictate the pricing. I'm just a marketing guy. But also, you got to remember, we also do below MSRP. So if you want us to be, hey, you should never sell above MSRP, when that also means we should never sell below MSRP too. Then. If you want to go that route and say, shame on you for going above MSRP, well, then shame on us for going below MSRP and letting you save money too, if you want to look at it that way. But we don't. We have, if you look on our website right now, we might sell one Raptor at 20 grand over, but look at our Lightnings that are 10,000. What are they? $10,000 off, or $12,000 or $15,000 off right now, right? So here's the deal: is we actually don't take that. You can say, well, you just made 20 grand on that customer. You know what we actually do as a dealer here at McArthur, and I probably don't need to share this because I don't want dealers to get this, but understand this. But we take that $20,000 and we actually write down some of our other units that we don't sell well, like mach-es, and like
sometimes
Lightnings.
That goes into profit. It goes to like the higher ups, like the larger portion goes to the owners. Here, we actually take that, instead of giving it to the owners, we write down other vehicles with it.
Yep.
So that way
it helps us sell the vehicles that don't sell well, that we get stuck, that Ford, you could say, kind of sticks a dealer with. We find a way to sell that vehicle, and that is a great way for us to do that, is to take that profit and then lower another vehicle down. So that's why, like if you look at our F-150s,
Some are 15,000 off right now.
So we do accounting adjustments on our vehicles, and so instead of a lot of dealers will do is, and when you sell so many vehicles, the dealer gets a rewarded, a money from Ford for how many units you sold, and a lot of dealerships, the owners take that as profit.
Mhm.
What we do is something differently, whereas we take that money and we use it as accounting adjustments for our other inventory to lower down the vehicles that we've had for 120 days and lower them down so we can get those moved off the lot, and somebody gets a great deal because of it too.
Yeah. It also helps our salesmen get what they deserve out of those deals that wouldn't be making money otherwise.
So a vehicle maybe that doesn't sell well, if we adjust it that way and we also lower the price that much, if they sell it at that price, then it's like them selling it at what the price was before.
Yeah.
So then that affects them. So anyway, there you go.
You have to also think about, we have to eat too. Yeah. The people at the dealership have to eat. They have to provide for their families just like everyone else.
But there you go. Anyway, so that's how we do that. And that's our thought on that. On that, we, like I said, there's only 2 vehicle lines that we mark up, and it's ones that are very limited in production number. Our like we mentioned, Bronco Raptors, invoice pricing. You want to order a Bronco Raptor, we'll take your Bronco Raptor order, invoice pricing, because we're getting Bronco Raptor allocations, but we don't have orders. And there's some months where we turn down. Ford will say, okay, you earned one Bronco Raptor allocation, and we'll well, we don't have any orders, so let's not take that one. We'll turn down that allocation, let another dealer have it, because we don't have anybody to give it to. And when we get a stock one in, they're not selling it MSRP. They're not selling it even at invoice. We got to go below invoice to sell it. So let's not even worry about it.
That is something that someone wants to customize.
Yes,
they want it to be theirs.
It is. I mean, some people are like, oh, I can get a good deal because I can find one at a dealer lot, but I don't have a choice on color or options. But when somebody, like you said, spending that kind of money, they want to choose. I want that Ranger Raptor. I want it in Shelter Green. I want the beadlock wheel, right? Finding one on a dealer lot, it's whatever it is.
Yeah. So I had friends that are looking at cars, and she was like, I want a blue Explorer. And I'm like, okay. She's like, you don't have any. I'm like, yeah, we tend to order, black and white and whatnot. And she's like, but I want the good deals that are going right now. I'm like, I get that, but here's how we see it when it comes to ordering a vehicle. If you want something at a super cheap price, take it off the lot. It's something that we want to get rid of. It's something that we need to sell. You can get it right then and there. You might settle on a few things, but you get a good vehicle at a good price. Now, if you want exactly what you want, order. Get it MSRP, invoice, depending on what the deals are. And then you still get the rebates too, because not all of that is just marking it down. Some of that's rebates. So you still get the rebates, but you're kind of paying for the privilege of getting exactly what you want when you order.
Yeah. We're going to have that with people with their Mavericks coming in. They're going, well, you're at MSRP. And I'm like, well, you're custom ordering your Maverick though. They're like, well, I see you have some that are discounted $2,500 off. I said, well, for one, those are 24s. And for two, they've been here for 3 months. If you want yours to sit around for 3 months and hopefully nobody buys it, then we can, then you wait and then sell it to you. Then you can look at that. So it's one of those things of taking that risk, it's kind of like, you seen an ad in the paper and going, well, will it be cheaper next week? You take that risk.
Someone might think that's the perfect price and go for it.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense.
You never know what the other person's perfect price is.
All right.
Does Ford offer holdback on the Raptor models that are high in demand?
Okay, so let's talk. We can talk about holdback. Holdback.
We did talk about last week.
Did we? Was that last week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they weren't here last week. So holdback is for the dealer. So that is to cover costs of the interest cost of having it on our lot. So, and typically, I think the way they had that set up at one point, I don't know if it still is that holdback money is to cover 3 months of your interest costs. So if you sell a vehicle for them, then yeah, it makes a benefit. But we have some out here that have been here for 4 months. So we've already lost that.
Here that are a year old.
Yeah. So it doesn't cover that. So we don't really get into holdback discussion and whether or not, hey, this vehicle's on your lot or it came in, I want your holdback. No, that is, if you want to pay for a dealership and put your name on the side of the building and pay for a building, then you can have the holdback because that really belongs to the owners.
Mhm.
And it's to help for
And our
that
owners
kind of
are
thing.
gracious about it and put it towards other vehicles,
Well, that's
like we do with our overage.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that works. Holdback is to cover interest costs. That's not really into negotiating. True invoice is what we truly pay for those, and the holdback is to cover any interest because we have to have inventory on our lot. Right?
Yeah.
We have 300 cars on or 200 and some cars on our lot. We have to pay Ford for having those on our lot until we sell them, including Mavericks.
Yes.
Which they still will charge us interest on those Mavericks, even though there's a recall on them, we can't sell them. Yeah.
Yep.
Figure that one out. All right. What else?
That's all I had. Although someone says reports say the Maverick software fix is available. Reports might say that, but until the technicians can find the fix in the programming from Ford, we will not be able to
Unless
fix
that's
it.
something that happened today. Like I said, they check every morning. If it came out throughout the business day today, then that might be something I may not be aware of. I'm not always the first to know this stuff, but I don't see that.
I feel like if
there would be an update,
yes, if it had happened today or before,
it would be in my alerts.
it would be in your alerts, and our service department would have started on them, and our GM would have been like, "Hey, no more holdback, or no more stop sale. Let's get these Mavericks out of here." So,
yep. So,
Databetic said, "Yeah, it was more about if Ford still offers it on vehicles that should sell quickly." And yes, it's on all vehicles.
I believe so. All right, so here we go. So I got this. I can pull this report that actually shows all the VINs of the recall I can actually pick the recall for the frozen rearview camera image. And it says in here, when I pull that, it shows how many affected VINs, which is 268,427. Recalls completed 0. So none have been completed nationwide on these. And it does. And then under that, it says target or current and targeted dealer communications. They have the 2 that came out, the advance notice on September 13th. They have the supplement that came out November 22nd. And then it says current and targeted owner communications, no remedy available. So right there. And then it does say software parts availability. It says software only. And it says in here they're targeting for the fix to be available or the software to be available Q1 of 2025. We're still in 2024. So not available yet. But their goal is Q1 of 2025. And whenever I see, you know me, whenever I see Q1, remember that's January, February, March. So it could be anywhere between January and March. More than likely, when they say Q1, it's going to be March. But I hope that's not true. But there you go. There's that. So this actually, I was able to pull that because actually first time trying that. Never actually done that before. But
right.
And then at some point in here, I think you can actually pull which of your vehicles have that recall. But
yep.
Do
you think the Excursion will be resurrected? We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, like, was it last year they came out with an Excursion package?
Any tips and tricks on how to get a private cash offer from Ford? Is there a way to get one applied if expired while waiting for an order to be built?
Oh, like those ICI offers? Yeah. I think sometimes those are generated because if they see your driving habits with them, they tend to like give you those. So like a lot of those ICI offers, instant cash offers or whatever they call them, the fits, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, those usually are for people that have purchased from Ford before in the past. So they typically will give those if they say, hey, this person usually buys every 3 years. Then around 2.5 years, they throw that offer out. Or maybe it's hit 3 years and it's 3.5 and they haven't purchased like they normally do. Then they send that cash offer out to entice them. Yeah. That's typically how that works is they see your habits of buying with them.
I will say that I used to make those calls to tell people that they have gotten those offers. And more times than not, the people I was calling have passed away because they haven't purchased the vehicle in so long.
Because yeah. Well, and that too, and half the time you don't realize that you might actually have one.
Yes.
So you could have one
So
and not know it.
We
could pull any customer. We can do a customer inquiry and see if you have a private offer available.
Because I used to make those calls and be like, "Hey, did you know that you have this?" Half the time they'd be like, yeah, they passed away. Oh, so sorry." But that goes along with, well, if you haven't purchased in this long, they haven't purchased like they normally would have. So you can't really find a way to get that to push.
Okay, hopefully they can be done by mobile. Yes, they can be done by mobile service. So since it's a software update, they should be able to go to your place of employment or to your house
yes, but these are
and
a
be able to
stop
do that.
sale.
Well, no, once the fix, they're saying.
Right. Yeah, but it's a stop sale, so no one should have that vehicle.
There are a lot of these people that are driving their 22 to 23 to 24 F1 or Mavericks.
Okay.
If they've already bought it,
okay,
we're not talking about the ones that are in dealer lots. We're talking about people that are driving theirs with frozen screens.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
not everybody. There are a lot of people that they're driving their Mavericks. Of the 600 or 268,000, most of that is people that are in their vehicles.
Because I talked to one of our salesmen today, and he said that we have a customer who purchased theirs the day the paperwork went through the day before the recall came out. Their vehicle is affected, and Ford told us to go and get their vehicle that they can't drive it.
Yeah, somebody said that their dealer went and said that they couldn't deliver the vehicle to them, but then didn't give them their trade-in back. So, and I know that Laura has one where they did all the paperwork. They had everything done, but they didn't report it to Ford yet. And so went to go report it and pull the VIN, and then they couldn't report it because it was a stop sale.
Maybe that's what happened here is that we did the deal before that recall came out, but we were reporting it the next day.
Yes. If you reported it, like we actually had someone that actually had done the deal and everything. We were already reported it to Ford. They just hadn't picked up the vehicle yet. And since it was reported to Ford, according to Ford, they owned it. So we let them take the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because it was already been reported.
Yes.
It's no different than somebody that bought a month ago, their vehicle, same situation.
But if we are in that situation where we have to take that Maverick back because it was not reported in time, we give them a vehicle.
Yes. And I was actually looking for the report to see, because there is some like things about loaners and all that. And this in here doesn't provide loaners. So like, I know that Laura Alcione, she actually contacted me, and they have their one customer that had this happen in one of their loaners, which is fine. But who knows how long they're going to be in that?
Yeah.
What's funny is half of our loaners, what are they?
Maverick.
They're Mavericks that probably have the backup camera.
Would you like this Maverick instead? It has the same problem. It has the same recall, but this one was sold. Would you like this one?
So, you can't take yours that has that recall, but let's put you in one of our loaners that has that recall that we don't have to worry about because there's no fix and you can drive it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it is
things that just don't make sense, right? All right. Anything else? If not, move on. I'll figure out why our camera wasn't working. We'll figure out why our camera wasn't working. If I remove it now, it'll close that whole screen. It'll remove this because this is an extra camera. That's funny. All right. Anyway, we'll figure that all out, but
hopefully have it ready to go for next week.
Yeah.
It's getting late. Tim is starting to make sense. Ford can't have that. It's almost 9:30.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we had some fun. If anything, hopefully we learned something. And yeah, there you go. All right. So we'll be back next week. I'm excited about next week, talking about 2024 what all we did, what all kind of fun we had, and everything else like that. And then also look forward to 2025. We should look back at last year's video live stream and see what we said we were going to do in 24 and
see if we did it.
See one of those things we actually did.
Yes.
Some things happened we didn't plan on. So anyway, so we'll do that next week. We'll do a year in review and judge ourselves how we did. So Diabetic says it's only 5:24 in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We could fly there, but by the time we landed, it would probably be 8 o'clock. So,
yeah.
Anyway. Yep. Actually, camera number 2 is that's actually camera number 1. Camera number 2 is the one that's working.
Yeah.
It's funny. All right. Anyway, which actually I had some issues with that in yesterday's video on the Maverick. I actually was using that camera, and there was actually a couple that you'll see that there's a spots where I put some clips over my the video. And it's because it tripped out on me. So it like froze, and I was like, "Oh, well,
so
that's weird."
There's something going on because yesterday it was that camera, today it's this camera, so something's going on.
I think it's actually issues with StreamYard, but
probably
because I record the videos the recorded videos are done in StreamYard too. So
yes,
so I think it was StreamYard. Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's it. Hope you guys had a good night, and we'll have some fun next week before Christmas, and see what all happens. Hopefully, we'll have a recall fixed by then. Probably not going to happen.
We aren't even in Q1 of 25.
I can tell you this: if we don't have the recall done by Friday the 20th, it will not be done until January. I'm telling you that right now. So, all right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you guys had a good night. And let's see, move up to here. And all right, I think that's it.
Yep.
All right. Well, have a great evening and see you guys on the next one. Until then, stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.